Have you ever had that moment when you think about someone, and minutes later you get an unexpected message? Ever walk down the street and notice the same numbers repeating, like they were blinking at you from the clock to a license plate? Sometimes these experiences seem like funny coincidences, but something inside you senses there's a hidden message. Now imagine these signs aren't just random occurrences, but echoes of a deeper reality, vibrating before it even materializes. It's as if the universe is whispering little clues in your ear, reminding you that you're in sync with something greater. What if these breadcrumbs of coincidence were just the shadow of a quantum manifestation about to emerge in your energy field? Classical science would say all this is impossible, that there's no logic in thinking about someone and then hearing from them. That repeated numbers are just random patterns your mind happens to notice. But quantum physics opens a new window, suggesting that what we call coincidence may actually be invisible energetic alignment. Carl Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that connect your life to a greater order. For him, these mysterious events reveal that something beyond chance is quietly at work. And what if Jung was just pulling back the curtain on a truth we can now explore through the language of quantum physics and neuroscience? Think of it like a shadow appearing before the form. When you see someone's reflection approaching, their actual body hasn't arrived yet, but you already know they're about to step into view. That's how synchronicities work, vibrational previews of a reality that's about to collapse. Before your eyes, when you notice these signs, your heart races, doesn't it? It's as if your body knows something greater is happening, even when your mind tries to doubt it. That feeling is proof that your subconscious mind is picking up vibrations beyond space and time. Intuition, in this case, is the first language of quantum manifestation. And here comes the question that sparks a leap in awareness. What if it's not a coincidence? What if these little experiences are reminders that you're already navigating the right energetic field, ready to attract abundance and reprogram your mind for new possibilities? These signs, like the unexpected call or repeated numbers, aren't just messages from the universe. They're invitations. Invitations to trust the invisible, to raise your vibration, and to allow your reality to reorganize around who you already are. Every synchronicity is a reminder that the law of attraction is working silently, even when you don't notice. But be careful. The real magic isn't in chasing signs like trophies. It's in learning to read them as symbols of alignment. The universe doesn't want you lost in superstition, but rather using these reflections as inner guidance, expanding your awareness to the point where you yourself become the sign. And maybe now you're wondering, how can something so subtle be so precise? It's because, in the quantum field, all possibilities already exist in superposition. When your vibrational frequency aligns with a specific timeline, the signs start to leak through, as if the future is sending messages back to the present. The famous double-slit experiment has already shown that reality isn't solid until it's observed. That means your attention is the trigger that collapses the invisible into matter. The simple act of noticing a synchronicity is already a quantum choice, a form of internal programming that realigns your identity and opens portals of manifestation. And when you think of someone and they reach out to you, what's happening is even more fascinating: quantum entanglement. Just like separated particles remain connected beyond space and time, your emotions and thoughts create energetic links that cross distance. The phone rings because the vibration was already in resonance. Your brain, meanwhile, is like a sophisticated antenna. Neuroscience has shown that it doesn't just react, it predicts what's coming. It highlights the signs that resonate with your focus and filters out the rest. That's why, when you raise your vibration, you begin to see synchronicities everywhere, because your subconscious mind has tuned the radar to pick up what matches. And so, each repeated number, each chance encounter, each spot-on intuition functions as part of an invisible orchestra tuning the melody of your life. The more you align with this frequency, the clearer the signs become until reality collapses in perfect coherence with what you're emanating. That's what we're going to dive into together. Not just decoding the signs, but unlocking the quantum code behind them. And before we go deeper, tell me, have you ever felt a synchronicity shift the course of your day? Share it in the comments. Oh, and if this content already opened your perception, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join this community of conscious seekers. Here, every experience you share becomes inspiration for all of us. Now that you're beginning to see synchronicities as shadows of what's about to manifest, I want to take you even deeper into this journey. Imagine an arrow about to be released. There's a moment of maximum tension in the bow before the shot. That silence is the moment the universe recalibrates to align your timeline. What seems like an absence of signs may actually be the most powerful stage of manifestation. It's in this quantum void that probabilities organize themselves, waiting for your vibration to stabilize. Trusting the silence is one of the greatest acts of energetic faith because it's within it that the future is being sculpted. When you learn to release and receive, the signs stop being the goal and become breadcrumbs along the way. They're not the final feast, but confirmation that you're already headed in the right direction. The true power lies in reprogramming your mind to become the source of that elevated vibration. Think of an orchestra before a concert. Each musician tunes their instrument, producing seemingly disconnected sounds. But for the conductor, those sounds already signal that the melody is about to begin. That's what synchronicity is. An invisible rehearsal preparing the stage for your new reality to manifest. Many make the mistake of treating each sign with superstition or attachment, as if that number or event were the destiny itself. But the secret is understanding that the sign isn't the arrival, it's just the shadow. When you grasp this, anxiety dissolves and trust in the flow of the universe becomes natural. It's at this point that your identity begins to shift. You stop being someone who chases signs and become someone who emits them. Your vibrational frequency rises, your energy field expands, and life begins to respond as a coherent reflection of who you are within. And then comes the inevitable question. How do you turn this intuitive awareness into a conscious practice? How do you train your brain and your energy not just to notice signs, but to generate the synchronicities you desire? The answer lies in learning to be both the observer and the creator. Close your eyes for a moment now and take a deep breath. Imagine that each inhale draws in possibilities, and each exhale collapses only what aligns with your essence. This simple exercise begins to tune your body as a radar for quantum reality. Synchronicity doesn't vanish when you stop seeing repeating numbers or receiving unexpected messages. It simply changes form. Because once you become the sign, the universe no longer needs to send you external reminders. You're already living in full coherence. That's why so many people panic when the signs seem to disappear. They believe they've lost the connection, when in fact they're at the exact moment of a timeline shift. This emptiness is like the peak tension before the arrow is released. It's the prelude to the launch. And this is exactly where the key to transformation lies. Trusting the invisible process, even when there's no external evidence. Your quantum faith is the cement that structures your reality shift. It's what holds the energy field until the invisible becomes visible. The more you let go, the faster the flow accelerates. The more you trust, the sooner the feast materializes. That's why learning to vibrate in the energy of worthiness is so crucial. It's not about seeking proof, but about claiming that you are already worthy of the manifestation. This is the point where science meets spirituality. The observer who collapses reality is the same one who must trust in what they cannot yet see. Your brain predicts, your subconscious programs, and your heart sustains the vibration until everything becomes tangible. And remember, the signs were never about the outside, they were always about the inside. Each repeating number, Each improbable coincidence is just the reflection of what's already pulsing in your essence. You no longer need to wait. The universe is already tuning the instruments, and soon, the full melody will be your life in full manifestation. Have you ever noticed how life sometimes feels like a secret dance, where each of your steps echoes in something happening out there? This dance isn't random. It's governed by quantum principles that explain why you feel such a deep connection to certain moments. What we call synchronicity is actually a bridge between the subconscious mind and the collective energy field in the subatomic world. All possibilities coexist in a state of superposition. This means that, right now, infinite versions of your life already exist in parallel. Synchronicities are like cracks in that invisible wall, letting you glimpse flashes of the timeline you're about to choose. Imagine yourself standing before a vast ocean of realities. Each wave is a vibrational possibility waiting for your attention to give it form. When you focus on an intention with clarity, you trigger a quantum collapse. That's when the signs appear like bubbles rising to the surface, signaling that your timeline shift has already begun. Scientists call this the observer effect. By directing your consciousness, you don't just watch reality, you influence what manifests. When you think of someone and they appear, it's not just coincidence, it's proof that your internal observation has modulated the vibration of reality. And the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Your brain learns to recognize patterns, your internal identity is reprogrammed, and your self-image starts vibrating in coherence with what you desire. At this point, the law of attraction stops being a theory and becomes a living daily experience. Now look within. What signs have you been attracting lately? Are they echoes of fear and anxiety, or reflections of trust and abundance? This question is essential because synchronicity not only reveals the universe, it exposes the vibration you're emitting. When you change your vibration, the signs change too. It's like tuning a radio. The music didn't start when you turned the dial. It was already in the air, just waiting for the right alignment. Likewise, abundance already exists on your timeline. The sign is merely confirmation that you've tuned to the right frequency. But there's a crucial point many overlook. Chasing signs like trophies leads nowhere. The real power lies in becoming the radio station itself, radiating elevated frequency without relying on external reminders. That's when life begins to dance around you in perfect synchronicity. Think about it. When you become the sign, others stop being beacons and become mere reflections. You become the conductor of this invisible orchestra, directing each note of your reality with conscious intention and coherent emotion. And the more you vibrate in this harmony, the more natural everything feels. Maybe you've already felt this at some point in your life, a phase when everything flowed. Perfect encounters happened, doors opened at the right moment. That wasn't luck. That was you vibrating in coherence, manifesting a timeline where synchronicities weren't reminders, but confirmations. There's a curious paradox on the path of manifestation. The strongest signs appear exactly when you're no longer looking for them. That's when life starts to speak through silence. Many interpret this pause as abandonment, but it's actually the moment of maximum recalibration by the universe. Imagine an arrow in a bow. The greater the tension, the farther it will fly. Silence is that invisible tension. It's not absence of movement, it's a buildup of energy about to be released toward the target. When the signs disappear, it's a sign that the shot is being prepared. This is the moment to trust the quantum process, to release control, allow the invisible to work in your favor, and remain in a vibration of worthiness. It's like waiting for the final note in a symphony. The conductor hasn't lifted their hands yet, but the music is already written in the air. Many fall into the trap of panicking during the silence, thinking they've lost the path. But in reality, this is the most sacred stage. It's when the energy field reorganizes invisible details, aligning people, opportunities, and circumstances for the timeline leap to be perfect. And here's the key. If you collapse your identity into anxiety, you create vibrational noise that delays the release. But if you trust and sustain an elevated vibration, the universe responds with surprising speed. Silence isn't a pause, it's energetic fermentation. Have you noticed how anxiety blocks creativity? The same happens with manifestation. That's why letting go and receiving isn't just a beautiful phrase, it's a powerful manifestation technique. When you let go, the universe finally has space to deliver. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself standing in a quiet forest. You don't hear a sound, but you feel life pulsing in every tree, every leaf, every root. That silence is full of invisible vibration. And so is the space between signs, a fertile field, ready to burst into new realities. And the most beautiful part is this: when you learn to trust that emptiness, it becomes the most comfortable part of the journey. You discover you don't need external proof to believe, because you're already living as someone who trusts the invisible. That is the true energy of worthiness. So remember, silence is not punishment, it's preparation. It's the universe's deep inhale before releasing what's already been planted. The more you relax in this space, the faster reality collapses. This is the secret of the great masters of manifestation. And if you're in that moment of silence now, know that it's because the universe is preparing something greater than you can imagine. Breathe deeply, trust, and realize the void is full of life. The signs will return, but when they do, they won't be reminders. They'll be confirmations that you have become the sign. Now that you understand the power of silence, it's time to turn that knowledge into practice, because it's not enough to simply observe the signs. You need to reprogram your mind to live in a continuous state of manifestation. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first, you need training wheels, but eventually, it becomes second nature. Synchronicities are those training wheels. They show you that the energy field is responding. But the ultimate goal is for you to ride on your own, vibrating with such coherence that you no longer need external confirmations. Trust becomes your new balance. So how do you train this quantum mind? Start with simple presence exercises. When you wake up, notice one sign of abundance in your day, even if it's small. It might be a sunbeam through the window or an unexpected smile. Recognize it as proof that you're already in the flow. This daily training reinforces your inner programming. Over time, your subconscious mind begins to seek more evidence of alignment. This boosts your self-image and anchors you in the vibrational state needed to attract abundance naturally. But the real leap happens when you learn to write down, reflect on, and expand these experiences. The simple act of recording your synchronicities strengthens the bridge between your conscious and subconscious mind, turning signs into permanent vibrational codes. That's exactly why we created the Quantum Journal Bundle, a 33-day practical journey with journals, exercises, reflections, and energy rituals that structure your vibrational routine. By using it, you don't just recognize the signs, you become the sign. If you feel called, dive into this experience and allow your life to enter a state of full coherence. Now imagine yourself as a conductor tuning your inner orchestra. Each thought is an instrument, each emotion a note, and each action a beat. The more you practice, the more perfect the symphony of your reality becomes. And the signs become just background details, not the main melody. This training is like a muscle that strengthens with use. The more you repeat, the easier it becomes to live in energetic alignment. A moment comes when quantum manifestation no longer requires effort because it's already part of your identity. And at that point, you realize you no longer need to look outside. You already live in a continuous state of trust in the universe, emanating high vibration, collapsing realities of abundance, and attracting people and opportunities that resonate with your frequency. The sign is no longer outside, it's you, Now, tell me, have you noticed how your energy shifts when you write or talk about the signs you've experienced? That's your energy field expanding, anchoring new realities. Keep practicing, and you'll see that, sooner than you think, the signs will no longer feel like rare miracles. They'll become your new normal. There comes a moment when you realize the signs were always there, not to be chased, but to serve. As training, initiation, reminders that you already had within you the frequency needed to shift your reality. The peak of the journey is not waiting for synchronicities, but embodying the state of being that generates them naturally. When you become the signal, there's no more anxiety about interpreting every detail. Life simply flows like a river, finding its natural course. At that point, even accidents become blessings, because you understand that the universe never makes mistakes. It only reflects what you're vibrating to. Be the signal is to live in a state of radical trust. It doesn't matter if repeating numbers appear or not, if the message comes quickly or takes its time. Deep in your energy field, you know you are already aligned with the timeline you desire. The collapse of reality becomes inevitable. That's the secret of the great masters. They don't wait for the sign, they are the sign. They walk with such coherence that the universe has no choice but to respond. Their vibration creates space, opens doors, connects people, and magnetizes opportunities with the precision of an invisible gravitational field. And this isn't something reserved for a few. You can live in that state too. All it takes is reprogramming your mind, sustaining your self-image in abundance, and trusting that every breath is an act of quantum manifestation. It's daily training, but it gradually becomes your new identity. And look how beautiful it is. When you become the signal, you inspire others to awaken. Your vibration becomes a beacon, lighting the collective path. People around you begin to experience their own synchronicities because you, through your emanation, reorganize the shared energy field. At this point, you realize synchronicity was never external proof, it was always internal reflection. The universe isn't trying to convince you. It's simply showing you that you already hold the power. Everything that happens outside is just an echo of what you've already anchored within. And then comes freedom. You no longer depend on signs. You begin to create signs for others. Every word, every gesture, every conscious intention becomes a spark of manifestation. You stop being a seeker and become a conscious creator of realities. Close your eyes for a few seconds now and mentally repeat, I am the signal. I vibrate the reality I desire. I trust the silence before the leap. Let these phrases resonate through your body like mantras, reorganizing your vibrational frequency in this very moment. And notice, the energy field is already responding. You don't need to wait for a repeating number to know. The simple fact that you're here listening to these words is a synchronicity. It's proof that you attracted this moment because your vibration called for it. Now, you understand, synchronicity was never a coincidence. It was the poetic language of the universe, preparing you to become aware of your own creative power. Today, you can choose not just to observe the signs, but to live as their source. The greatest timeline leap happens when you release the need for external evidence. In that moment, your subconscious mind is already reprogrammed, your self-image strengthened, and your worthiness energy active. The universe no longer needs to prove anything. It simply responds. And here's the revelation. You don't need to wait for reality to change to feel abundance. Feeling abundance now is what collapses the reality you desire. Vibration comes before manifestation, always. It's like smiling before hearing the joke. Your body anticipates the experience. If you trust this principle, you'll realize that every silence is fertile, every shadow hints at form, and every synchronicity is just an echo of what already exists within you. The universe was never against you. It was just waiting for your vibrational permission to expand that. And now I invite you to anchor this new identity. Take a deep breath and quietly say, I am the signal. I trust the universe. I let go and receive. These phrases are like quantum keys, unlocking doors of perception, turning simple words into energetic programming. When you comment these phrases, you're not only activating your vibration, you're also strengthening the collective field. That's the beauty of the journey. We don't walk alone. Every story you share here is a spark that inspires others to awaken to the same power. And that's why I invite you now to join our community. If this content expanded your vision, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and share this video with someone you love. Together, we are creating a network of consciousness that vibrates high, transforming the invisible into reality. Comment below. What's the most powerful synchronicity you've ever experienced? I'd love to hear your story, because each account is a piece of the great quantum mosaic we're building together. Your voice matters, your energy matters, and never forget, the synchronicity was never just a message, it was always you. You are the source, the signal, the conductor of this invisible symphony. And the universe, in all its grandeur, is simply waiting to dance to the rhythm you choose to vibrate.